Till now we were discussing on quantitative study designs in biomedical research. From the name itself, it is very evident that it is quantitative, quantity. It is something objective. So it may be either can be a survey or it can be we are giving a structured questionnaire and getting the answers, or you are doing analytical study design, whatever it is quantitative. But in certain situations, especially in case of certain sensitive issues, for example, use of oral contraceptives in a tribal population or certain sexual behaviors, certain events like why the terrorists or Taliban conquered Afghanistan, why they are killing people, why doing, what is the motive behind that. In such cases, you cannot go for a quantitative study. So in that cases, you have to become the participant and get the concern or the real words or the emotions from the participant group. There you have to use qualitative study design. Okay, so now I will give you an overview of qualitative study design, and it is getting the participants' perspective, or we are looking at social behavior more holistically. And actually there are three methods by which we do a qualitative study. One is in-depth interview. Second, focus group discussions. FGD. Or it can be a participant observation. So these are the main data collection methods we use in qualitative study designs. It is very subjective, as I already told, and there are some differences from quantitative study design also. For data collection, we have to seek either in-depth interview, focus group discussion, or participant observation. So, and after this, in analysis part also, there is some difference. We go for either a content analysis or thematic analysis in case of qualitative study design. And here the software we use is also different from quantitative design. In quantitative study, we either use an SPSS software or R software, but in qualitative studies, the popular software can be either in vivo software, or you can use manual analysis also. Okay, so I will discuss three methods in detail. So one method of data collection in a qualitative research is in-depth interview. As the name suggests, it is in-depth interviewing the participant, so that the investigator will get a clear framework, or the interviewee's framework of what they mean in their own language, or why they behave, or what they mean by that in their own language. So that is the advantage of this in-depth interview. So we go for an in-depth interview when the content or the context is very complex and the participants have a basic knowledge of the issue. And in sensitive issues like sexual behavior, or I already told in some oral contraceptive usage in a sensitive population like a tribal population, or in a drug abuse, in such sensitive issues, or when the issue has got a peer pressure, then also we go for an in-depth interview, individually interviewing the participant. And we are asking open-ended questions, so that and getting maximum response from the interviewee in their own language. And the whole interview can be audio taped or video taped. Video recording or audio recording can be done, but a prior consent has to be taken for that also. And the investigator should have an idea of what all questions has to be asked, and for that the investigator can make an interview guide also. Okay, and this interview guide is a flexible one. It is not a structured questionnaire, but it is a flexible interview guide, so that we have to guide the interviewee, and also we can ask what we want to ask. Probing can be done in between, and also as I already told, this whole thing can be recorded, and it will take minimum of 30 minutes to 60 minutes. So half to 1 hour period it will be taken, and the advantages are it's most in depth and data on how people think and talk in their own language, and the exact words and language of the population or the culture. Can we get it? They are the advantages. And emit perceptive. What is that? Emit perceptive. It is the inside perceptive, the participants perceptive. For an example, I want to get an idea on the perceptive of or gender perceptive of women working in Afghanistan. So if I am going as with a quantitative study, I will give them a structured questionnaire, and what I get is my perceptive. In total, at the end, I get the ethic perceptive or outside perceptive. But in a qualitative study, by doing an in-depth interview, we get the insiders, their perceptive, or that is the emit perceptive. Okay, so that is the main advantage of the in-depth interview, right? The emit insiders perceptive, that population or that group of people, their perceptive we will get. But the disadvantages, what are they? This is only an individual opinion. It may not be true in a case of the whole population. So external validity or generalizability is not there in a case of in-depth interview, and it is very much time consuming. We have to go at least for 45 to 60 minutes, and also interpretation of data. I already told that this is subjective. So interpretation of the data depends upon the investigator. So chance of bias is high in case of in-depth interview. In-depth interview for a single person will take around 45 to 60 minutes. So so many participants, interviewees has to be interviewed also. So the cost and timing is much high in case of an in-depth interview. So if we want to save time and interview a group of people at the same time, then it is better to go for a focus group discussion. But in that, by doing a focus group discussion, we can get a common opinion, and also certain sensitive ideas can be generated. Idea generation is there, and also the language or certain common terminologies also can be generated by doing these focus group interviews. But the thing is that the participant, at least there should be a 6 to 8 or maximum 10 participants should be there in a focus group discussion, and all the participants should be having the same belief or of the same category. The age should be same, mostly preferably the gender should be the same, and also their social beliefs, their educational standards, the socio-economic standards, everything should be same. Otherwise, there should be, for example, you are asking for the opinion of the students on the behavior of teachers, how a teacher should behave to students. We are getting opinion from students. So we are taking a group of undergraduate students, and if you include a postgraduate residence in that, or if you include an assistant professor in that, a faculty in that, then what will happen? The students will not open their mouth. So such things should not happen. So you should be very clear about the participants. They should be of the same category. And the advantages are that some people are more comfortable to talk or to generate their ideas in a group setting. And also we can get information on social norms, and also lot of data in a limited period. We are getting everyone in that 8 to 10 participants are talking for a limited period, say for 1.5 hours. So we will get lot of data in a limited period. So all these are the advantages and disadvantage. Difficult to assess sensitive or personal behaviors. Some persons will not talk their own personal behavior in a group setting. And again, it is not generalizable and it is time consuming also, and you will get a lot of data. So pages on pages of data will be generated. That is, and also you have to, time consuming in the sense you have to transcript all this data. So that will take, transcription of data will take a long time, and also analytic challenges are there. And what you have to do in a focus group discussion, similar to that of in-depth interview, you can also make a flexible interview guide, and all these discussions can be audio or video recorded with a prior consent from all the participants, and there should be a moderator and also a note taker. Okay, one moderator should be there, otherwise only some people, dominating characters will keep on speaking and everyone will not involve in the group discussion. And so a moderator should be there and also a note keeper should be there. So that is about focus group discussion. And the third method is participant observation. Okay, in participant observation, the investigator will become a participant. That is, the investigator will go to that area and become a part of the culture or part of the event. For example, if I want to study on transgender issues and I go to the transgender community and I live among them for a period and I understand their issues, their behavior, etc. So that is participant observation. Here the investigator will become a participant. Investigator himself will go to that and become a participant, then observe the whole event and make notes, collect data and analyze. So the advantage is that the data is very deep and detailed, and the disadvantage is systematic collection of data is sometimes difficult. Most of the time I can't write down the notes or I can't audio record. So the systematic collection of data will be difficult. Sometimes I become too much involved that I forgot to record the data, and also the analysis is difficult because there is no systematic criteria for analysis for that. That also become difficult. So these are the three methods. So by these three methods, either by focus group discussion or in-depth interview or participant observation, the investigator collects the data and then he does the analysis. Analysis is mainly by two methods. One is a content analysis and second is a grounded theory approach. So this is how you do a grounded theory analysis. There are two types of analysis mainly. One is grounded theory and another one is content analysis. In a grounded theory, we make the raw data into different codes, categories, and then make concepts, and from the concepts a theoretical model is made. So from interview 1, this is raw data. Again this is interview 2, you get raw data. And in interview 3 also you get raw data. You did a in-depth interview of, example, you did an in-depth interview of 3 persons, you got the raw data. For example, the question is, how often you go for shopping at Lulu Mall? Okay, so the interview, the first respondent tell that I will go once in a month. Second one told that when there is seasonal sale. And the third one told that I go once in a week. So once in a month, once in a week and seasonal sale, all are codes. So it is made into codes. So we make so many coding, so many codes are made, and then after that we again go through all these codes, and the redundant codes are removed, and then after these codes are made into categories. So there will be so many category, and also under the category we can make subcategories also. And then this initial coding and cell coding and selective coding all are done again and again, so many times. So actually this is not as easy as I tell. It's very large topic. So I am just giving you an overview of the grounded theory. So the codes are made into categories and subcategories are made, and from there certain concepts are made. And these concepts are later formed into theoretical model. Okay, so that is grounded theory approach or grounded theory analysis in a qualitative data. So the raw data to codes, categories and subcategory, which are again initial coding is there, axial coding and also selective coding, and from there concepts are made, and these concepts are later formed into a theoretical model. What in a content analysis? What you will do? In content analysis, it does not measure or quantify patterns. Like in a statistical analysis, this will not measure or quantify the patterns of data. But it goes through, actually there are 8 steps in a content analysis. The first thing is preparation of data. How we collect the data, that I already told you. Either it can be an in-depth interview or by focus group discussions or through personal observation, by note taking or from the recorded thing. We get the data and transcribe all the data into text. That is the first thing. Then second is defining the theme of analysis. By going through a thorough literature review, you have to get certain themes on the particular topic. So this has to be, you have to predefine the theme of analysis, and from that develop categories and codes which are relevant to the particular research. And after that, pre-test. After developing the categories and codes, pre-test the code. How will you do that? This code has to be distributed among all the researchers or investigators, and it has to be pre-tested in detail among them. And after that, actually from preparation of data, this comes here, but this should not come directly. It has to go through all these, that is to check the validity and reliability. Okay, so after defining the theme of analysis, which comes from extensive literature review, go for developing categories and codes and pre-test the codes and then code all data. There is no direct step. Okay, this has to come through this way only, and code all data. Again, recheck the validity and reliability of the codes among different investigators. And the 7th one is drawing inferences based on these themes. And after that, we have to publish the results. So this is content analysis. The contents are analyzed into based on literature review and also after checking the validity and reliability. So these are the stages of content analysis. So these are the 2 types of analysis. Again, there are computer assisted softwares. They are NVivo and Atlas. These are the 2 softwares available for analysis of qualitative studies. Qualitative research actually can be used to generate or make a tool for a quantitative study. How is that? An institution want to make a survey on the quality of faculty, teaching faculties. So actually there is not a very good tool or a questionnaire which can be applied to that survey. So what we can do, we can first make a tool. We have to make a tool for this survey on the quality of teachers. So this tool can be made by doing a qualitative study on the students' perspective of good teachers and bad teachers. How the students make or categorize teachers into good students and bad students. So first we have to make a qualitative study, and then from the qualitative study we can get a questionnaire or a tool to go for a survey on the quality of teaching faculty. So that is the use of an qualitative study, that is to make tool for quantitative study designs. That is one thing. And also in this study, what is the, as I already told, this study, it is actually a mixed survey. If you want to make the prevalence of oral contraceptives in a particular population along with the taboos and myths related to the use of contraceptives, then you have to go for a mixed study. That is, for the prevalence, go for a quantitative study, and to find out the myth and taboo, go with a qualitative study. So these are all situations where we have to use the need of using a qualitative study. And these are the differences between a quantitative study and qualitative study. This is quantitative. And this is qualitative. Okay, so in data, we get data in numbers in case of quantitative, but it is in text. As I already told, by doing the different data collection method, we get data as text. And it is always objective in quantitative, but it is subjective to the individual or the participant. Logic of inquiry is deductive. Deductive means testing of hypothesis in case of quantitative study. But inductive, what is inductive? Inductive is understanding the social process derived from the data. Okay, this is actually a mixed study. I already told you there is internal participation, and this is ethics study. We are standing outsider. Okay, so it's an outsider perspective. This is an internal perspective, and inductive and deductive. And research design is repeatability of data in case of a quantitative study. So interpretation of responses. So actually the validity is more with a qualitative study, and the validity is objective, where it is subjective in case of here. The validity is more of a credibility in case of a qualitative design, and here this can be generalized, but qualitative requires changing that into abstract interpersonal cultures. Okay, that is these are the difference between a qualitative and quantitative. We cannot tell that one is higher than the other. Usually in so many situations we need a mixture of all this. So mixing the different types of study designs into single one, we call it as triangulation. What is that? That is the mixing all the types of different types of study designs, maybe a qualitative and quantitative, into mixing depending upon the need and the type of study, depending upon your research question. Mixing different study designs is called the triangulation. Okay, that increases the validity and also the strength of the studies. An overview of qualitative study design and the different types of data collection, that is in-depth interview, focus group discussion and personal observation, and also differential analysis, that is content analysis and grounded theory approach in qualitative, and also in vivo and atlas softwares. Thank you.